I am not breathing so that carbon dioxide emissions decrease.
What? There's still a lot of way to prevent it.
How?
There's a lot of ways to prevent the increase of carbon emissions. The most basic way is to plant more trees. In addition to capturing carbon dioxide, trees also help the soil in capturing and storing carbon. Despite not doing as well as oceans in absorbing over 90% of all carbon emissions, and subsequently experiencing the consequences of ocean acidification, trees are essential in fighting climate change.
Sustainably and are committed to reducing their gas emissions and waste. Gio, since we're in the pandemic right now and we are currently in online learning, we tend to overuse our gadgets and sometimes forget to unplug it. One of the ways to prevent carbon dioxide emissions is by unplugging our computers and chargers. Coal, oil, and gas provide a significant portion of our electricity and heat. Reduce your energy use by lowering your heater, switching to LED light bulbs, and energy efficient electric appliances. Washing your clothes in cold water and hanging clothes to dry instead using of dryer.
In our day-to-day life, we face small actions that can make a big difference for the environment and for our pocket. For example, when choosing lighting for the home, did you know that LED bulbs can be a great saving over conventional bulbs? They consume less, so having them turned on for the same length of time means less spending at the end of the month. This way, we can save almost $220 a year while we contribute to energy savings. For short trips, the bicycle is a better option than the car. Aside from saving money on gas, the bicycle is a zero-emissions vehicle, while the car consumption increases as you go, emitting up to 1.7 kilograms of carbon dioxide every 10 kilometers. In the kitchen, we can also reduce costs. A simple action like covering the pot while cooking, saving of 25%, or even 50% if we use the pressure cooker. This way, we can save the money here covering the pot and using the pressure cooker. We continue taking care in the kitchen. Recycling used oil prevents severe environmental damage. Did you know that 1 liter of oil pollutes 1,000 liters of water? Furthermore, the recycled oil can be used to make soap, fertilizer, or fuel. When shopping, we can contribute to sustainability. Always look at clothing labels and buy fair trade products which guarantee respect for biodiversity and the workers who have made the garment.
Not using the plastic product can also be a huge help to prevent it. Plastic emits significant greenhouse gases as a result of sunshine heat, resulting in a worrisome feedback loops as the earth warms due to climate change. The plastic breaks down into additional methane than ethylene, speeding up the rate of climate change and therefore perpetuating the cycle.
Today, we're going to look at the environmental impact of plastic bags as well as the alternatives in order to understand what kind of choices we have as consumers in an environmentally unethical system. Soon after the 1960s, plastic bags exploded in popularity because it was marketed and made as a single-use product. Their cheap manufacturing costs allowed them to become the default choice at supermarket checkout counters. But the problem is, the cheap price doesn't account for the environmental costs of using plastic bags. According to a study conducted by the English Environment Agency, resource extraction and raw material production account for 60% of the environmental footprint of plastic bags. In other words, 60% of the bag's environmental impact happens before we even put our groceries in them. And although post-use impact accounts for less than half of a bag's total environmental impact, it is also the part of the bag's life that consumers can most easily control. It's estimated that the US alone throws away 100 billion plastic bags annually, only a fraction of which gets recycled. In general, most of these bags make their way into waterways and float along ocean currents until they make it to the 5 oceanic gyres that are created by circular currents. And these plastic bags could take well over 500 years to degrade. The bags don't maintain their original shape, however. Instead, they slowly break down via sun, water, and microbial erosion into smaller bits called microplastics, which can be fatal to marine life. Considering the adverse effects of plastic bags, it would make sense then to buy a cloth reusable bag or opt for the paper bag, right? Well, the answer isn't so simple. In the same study by the English Environment Agency, they found that the real environmental cost of a bag, whether plastic, paper, or cloth, is heavily rooted in the production side of the product. Plastic actually has the smallest environmental impact out of those 3 materials. So, in order for the quote-unquote longer life bags to have a smaller environmental impact, they need to be used multiple times. For paper, the study claims that it needs to be used 3 times in order to equate a single use of a plastic bag. And for cloth, that number skyrockets to 131 uses. This definitely shouldn't be taken to mean that single-use plastic bags are the best option. When possible, we should avoid using them. But for those of us who already have a drawer full of plastic bags in our home, reusing is key for mitigating the negative effects of that plastic. There is no need to go out and buy a brand new reusable tote if you already have usable plastic bags at home. Buying new reusable bags every time you go out to the store just perpetuates the problem. In short, the bag you choose matters, but not as much as how it came to be there, what you put in it, and how you use it.
that, we hope that through our video, we got to give you a lot of ideas on how to take care of our planet more.
As climate change has an influence on our planet's health and ecosystems, it's crucial that we all do our part to lessen or minimize its harmful effects. Reduced carbon emissions are one strategy to help mitigate the effects of climate change.
Carbon emissions reduction is significant because it can help minimize the severe and destructive consequences of high carbon dioxide levels on our ecosystem.
Around the world, renewable energy use is on the rise, and these alternative energy sources could hold the key to combating climate change. What is renewable energy? Renewable energy is generated from sources that naturally replenish themselves and never run out. The most common sources are solar, wind, hydro, geothermal, and biomass. Over 80% of the total energy consumed by humans is derived from fossil fuels. However, renewables are the fastest growing source of energy in the world. Renewable energy has many benefits. First, it can combat climate change because it creates no direct greenhouse gas emissions. The only emissions that they produce are indirect, meaning those that result from manufacturing parts, installation, operation, and maintenance. But even those are minimal. Second, renewable energy can decrease pollution and therefore reduce threats to our health. Wind, solar, and hydroelectric systems create no air pollution emissions, and geothermal and biomass energy systems emissions are much lower than non-renewable energy sources. Third, renewable energy is a reliable source of power. Because renewable energy sources are, well, renewable, they will never run out. Once built, renewable facilities cost very little to operate, and the fuel is often free. As a result, renewable energy prices tend to be stable over time. While renewable energy has many advantages, it is not without downsides. It is difficult for renewable energy sources to generate power on the same large scale as fossil fuels. Building wind farms and dams can disrupt wildlife and migration patterns and lead to ecological destruction. Both solar and wind energy are intermittent. They only generate power while the sun is shining or while the wind is blowing. Batteries can store excess energy for later use. However, they are often costly. While renewable energy presents some challenges, it also offers an environmentally friendly alternative to the greenhouse gas emissions and pollution of fossil fuels. And as advances in technology make renewable energy more accessible, affordable, and efficient, an end to climate change could be within our reach.
This has been Marion, Hope,
Leona.
Caye.
Zaira.
And Gio. And together, let's end the climate change now.